Hi, everyone. This is the Incept Connect podcast. I am John Osberg, growth strategist at Incept, and today I am sitting with a great friend, a mentor, a community builder, as well as a commerce builder, and that is none other than the one and only Chuck Collard. Welcome to the Incept Connect podcast.
John, thank you for having me.
What's going on, man?
It's good to see you.
Here, baby. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yep.
Kind of missed the handshake. Too excited, too juiced, but glad to be here today with you. You know, and as a reminder to why we have this podcast, right? This is all about community. This is all about connectivity, about helping kind of fill gaps, supporting companies, supporting communities in the process. And so Chuck today, as he'll mention, is part of Heritage Christian Services, a nonprofit here in Buffalo, New York, and in Rochester, across New York State. Chuck, why don't you tell us a little more, though, about Heritage Christian and who you are and how you're working with them?
Well, I appreciate it, John. I've been grateful to work for Heritage Christian Services for the better part of the last 6.5 years. We are a disability provider, providing supports for thousands of individuals across the Rochester and Buffalo area. We've been in existence as an agency for 38 years and recently celebrated 26 years here in Western New York.
26 years. And your role as regional vice president, right? That you're Buffalo, New York based, but you interface in Rochester a lot. And how long have you been there now?
6.5 years.
So
oversight traditional services, which people certified group homes, day have facilities, but we also have a business called self-direction, part of our emerging services, where instead of the funding coming directly to the provider, it goes to the individual and family utilizing the supports, and they contract back with us to do fiscal intermediary services, as well as brokering and self-hire services.
Wow. Outside of Heritage, what else you got going? I know you got a lot.
You know, I'm grateful to live in the Western New York community. I mean, I moved up here with my family in 1989. I thought it would be a 4 or 5 year gig. You know, here I am 30-something years later. As you know, I'm on the board at Roswell Park. Got a strong passion for supporting pediatric families through what my daughter started well over 20 years ago with Carly's Club, now the Courage of Carly Fund, and just grateful to be able to give back in that area as well.
What a big heart, man. Big heart. And, you know, it's all about serving others. And that's something I've learned from you going on now 5 years ago, sitting in Leadership Buffalo at one of their events, and you were the keynote because you received an award. And, you know, obviously we know the story of that. We always share a laugh on how our friendship came about. And again, it's all underscored by serving others. So, you know, today I want to throw some color into what Heritage is up to today. You know, what are some of the unique opportunities, maybe some of the challenges, and how we can bridge that gap as part of the Incept Connect podcast and having you here in studio in downtown Buffalo. So I want to start though with something that, you know, even going back just for you know, kind of reference, goes back 4 years ago now, where we first started interacting. 5 years, but then in terms of how I got involved with Heritage was to be the chair of the spaghetti dinner and basket raffle. And we had a record year in 2019, and it was one of the most fulfilling and exhilarating experiences of my life. So that's just for some context. And so then obviously, of course, COVID comes in 2020, and we had to kind of, you know, reimagine what that would look like. And so here we are today in 2022, where I know Heritage is kind of, what's the word? They've streamlined what they're doing to fundraise in the community. And so it's a big golf tournament in August, but then also a big fundraiser that is, that's the Hero. Of course, we call it the Hero Heritage. And so that's a run, roll, stroll. You know, we got something for everybody, like we were saying before we hit the record button. So I'd like to put some highlighting on that, because that's something now I am now chairing in Buffalo, while there is someone else in Rochester as well, where we're fundraising to support these great initiatives that Heritage deploys. Let's talk more about that, though, just in how people can get involved. So you brought me into it. So what are your thoughts on this awesome event?
Well, I'll actually take you back to the Leadership Buffalo event, too.
Please.
And, you know, I'm grateful that you took the opportunity to reach out and, you know, your persistence. Because, you know, in an event like that, first of all, you're never up on the stage alone. You're up on the stage with hundreds and thousands of people that have inspired you over the years and have given back to make organizations that, you know, we're connected to better. And so it was really an honor. And when you reached out, we kind of went back and forth. And just to be able to see your journey over the last 5 years and to see you grow as a person and as a mentor and as a community leader is really inspiring for me. So I think that's awesome. And I'm grateful for the, you know, to be part of the Incept Connect podcast and, you know, the team here at Incept, which is just awesome. So, but, you know, going back to Heritage Christian Services as well as the work with Roswell, I mean, it's really about relationships. It's about giving back. And, you know, both organizations have been, you know, hit over the last couple of years and, you know, unfortunately through loss, but also the loss of the in-person events. You know, I attended my first board meeting up at the hospital this morning in, you know, a little over 2 years, which is pretty amazing. So it was great to kind of get back together and really start talking about the work that's important and how we can improve the experience for, you know, whether it's people up at the hospital or whether it's people that are utilizing the supports through Heritage Christian Services. So, we're grateful. Like you said, we have the golf tournament that's hosted at Monroe Country Club out in Rochester. You played the last couple of years, and looking forward to playing again.
Yep.
And then we also have some, the event with the Heritage Stroll and Roll. And that's, it's a community event. This is the first year that we're doing it in the Buffalo area in quite some time. Traditionally, we would do it in the Rochester area, but we're just excited. For information on the event, you can go to heritagehero.org. A little something there for everybody, as we talked about. Whether you want to run, you want to walk, you want to support a team. We're just really excited to get people in the community, out and getting them doing some things to raise funds and awareness for a very, very important cause.
And moving our bodies while doing it is even cooler. Being outside in nature, I know that was one of the reasons why, with all the running that I've done over the years, especially in the last 3 or 4, why I think I was, I wouldn't say an easy choice, but it was a natural fit, maybe is the better phrase, to be tapped to be the chair for Buffalo. And yeah, so it's September 10th, and we're going to have, in the show notes, we'll have links, of course, to just click, and it'll take you right there, like Chuck had just mentioned. But of course, it's September 10th in Rochester. It's a Saturday, and then September 17th in the Buffalo area, and that will be a Saturday as well, of course, just the following week. So love to see you there. And there's, like we said, there's something for everybody, and all those dollars go to great causes, especially with the impact, like you just highlighted, Chuck, with COVID and everything else, and just the economy and all the other things that are happening, I should say. It's going to be a fun event to be outside and to be supporting and moving our bodies. Whether you're someone who can run or walk, or if you're in access to a wheelchair, come one, come all kind of thing is what we're looking forward to. So great highlight. And again, more information will be in the show notes. Shifting gears a little though, something else that has happened as a result of this, which is being felt in all industries, is the need for support or just folks, right? Help. People working, people, in the job, in the careers that, of course, Heritage is providing. Can we talk more about DSPs, direct support professionals, and how we might be able to plug in there and support there?
Absolutely. So we have 100 properties across both regions in 15 plus counties, probably 16 now. And, the work crisis, it's real. One of the things that we've done with Heritage Christian over the last year and a half is we've advanced the living wage. When I first started back in 2015, I think the average salary was around $12, and somebody could go work in the fast food industry and probably make the exact same amount. And I just remember the first meeting that I had, we talked about how do we move past that $15 mark. If you remember, several years ago there was a discussion that the minimum wage would be raised to 15. Food service workers, state employees. So we knew right then that we needed to do some work along the way, and we were grateful to do that last year. So our starting wage for somebody working in one of our residential programs is $15.75. If somebody's working in what we call a tiered program, maybe more medical complexity, higher needs, it's $16.75. And we also have a lot of opportunities in our management ranks as well. I mean, we're growing as an agency. When I started in Western New York, we had 325 employees locally here, thousands across the Rochester area. But right now, I actually checked this morning, there's 768 employees that report directly in the Western New York region, which is exciting. That means we're providing more supports. The challenge is, how do we support that growth? How do we support being able to provide more supports in our residential and our day programs? Well, the best way to do that is to go out and recruit and retain quality people who want to make a difference, people who want to give back to others. And, one of the things that I appreciate the most is somebody maybe that worked in another industry and decides to come into human services. I mean, I worked at Verizon Communications for 20 years, and don't get me wrong, it's important, but it's not helping people do things that are meaningful and purposeful every single day. Helping them reach their full potential, changing their lives, forming meaningful relationships. And that's what I think is so exciting about it. So, if there's anybody out there that's looking for a career in the human services field and wants to make a difference, Heritage Christian Services is definitely interested in chatting with you and sharing a little bit more about what we do in the communities.
Yeah, it's so well said. And just to see the impact, I think about the involvements that I've had over the last 4 or 5 years, and to see that impact in person, see these individuals having those fulfilling, enriching experiences, it's so impactful, and it'll create basically sustainable motivation and inspiration, really what we would call drive, to want to be in that role and support. And now more than ever, there's never been a greater need for support in so many different ways, in so many different places. So and there's so many great people too at Heritage, right? Like not to go over the top, but it's just so true. Like there's some fantastic folks, yourself included, that are doing great things to serve others, and that's really what it's all about. So that is also that, and that's going to be, what was the link on that again?
It's directsupport.org.
Yeah, and we'll put that in the show notes, so that's something that you can check out. You can of course reach out to me or Chuck. We're both big LinkedIn users, so of course pinging us, which we'll also make sure to put those in the show notes so that we can have some connectivity going that way. But overall, it's just been an incredible journey for 5 years, just seeing you grow too, and I appreciate the kudos earlier, and just seeing your growth as a friend, as a mentor, as someone I look to, and the work that you do in the community, and your famous phrase, "It's all good." It's something that I've taken into my kind of my life, in that life is going to happen. It's not what happens to us; it's what happens for us, right? Amen. And how we take that and use that, and as they say, the obstacle is the way. There's a great book I'm reading right now, Ryan Holiday, and so there's a lot of obstacles out there, but there's a lot of opportunity too for greatness. So.
And I appreciate that, John. You think about, and I'm a big fan of, it's not what happens to you in your life that defines you, it's how you choose to respond to it. And I appreciate the book recommendations over the years, and I know that you got that growth mindset, which is important. We're at different stages of our career path right now. You're up and coming, and you're involved in a number of different things, and your work at Incept is awesome. And I look forward to looking for some collaborative opportunities, personally and professionally, to be able to support that. But it's really about the relationships that we form. And how do we collectively become better together in certain things that we do. And for me, that's super exciting. And Heritage Christian Services is what's called a Compass agency. And it's a big certification. We're one of 4 agencies in the state of New York that has this designation. Wow. And we've had it for the last 20 years. And really what it suggests is that when it comes to quality and providing a certain level of supports, we hold ourselves to the highest standards possible. We're governed by OPWDD that basically suggests we have to, maintain a certain level of quality, but we like to think that we can raise that bar, and that's what we do through the Compass process. And over the next couple of years, we're going to be renovating at least 15 of our homes, our 2-story homes, and we're doing that because we're going to have to raise a lot of money, but we're doing that because we want the people that we support that live in a residential setting to be able to age in place, to be able to age and live in their home with the friends and relationships that they formed over the years. And when you have 2-story homes, unfortunately, you can't do that. So, we recently closed on a property in Western New York that's it's a ranch-style home. We're turning that into a 6-bed certified home, and we're going to be doing that with 14 or 15 other homes over the next couple of years. So, those that aren't able to participate in the race or aren't able to participate in the golf tournament, we're always looking to raise funds to be able to support that initiative as well. And over the next couple of months, we're going to be releasing some information on that, what's called our Homes with Heart campaign.
Awesome. Yeah, there's so many ways to connect, so many ways to support, and with the footprint that you have and all that growth, it's awesome. So kudos to you and the team, and Marisa, your CEO, from the top down, it's world class. So, so we'll make sure, again, in review, we'll have some notes, some links, ways to connect, ways to support. Of course, please certainly ping me with any questions as an evangelist and ambassador of Heritage Christian Services. But again, just grateful to have you in studio. I know we've done this in the past, but in a different format with my other show, Power of Osmosis. So the Power of Osmosis is certainly in this room right now and supporting others and serving others, and just grateful to have you in the community, my brother.
Yeah, no, right back at you. And I enjoy your posts and the conversations that we have. And like I said, one of the blessings is to be able to see your journey. Your journey over the last couple of years, and just to see how laser focused you are. That mindset that we talk a lot about, and there's so many things out in the area, I call it noise. There's all this noise, and if you can block out that noise and you can really focus in on what's the most important thing when it comes to self-development and your ability to support your family and organizations that you're passionate about, that is so exciting. And at Heritage, we spend a lot of time working on the relationship side, because we can go out and recruit all the people in the world, but if they don't feel valued and appreciated, they're going to find something else to do. Yeah. So if we can really focus in on the relationship side and train them well and make them feel part of a growing team, we know that our chances of retaining them are greater. And just to see people over the years, form families, at work, and that's, I think, the nice thing about working for Heritage for the last 6+ years is that I've seen everybody in the organization grow. And sometimes people move on and they pursue other things. And one of our best employees is somebody that goes on and does that, and then all of a sudden decides that the work that they went to wasn't as meaningful. And that's no disrespect to the agency they work for, or the organization, but maybe it's the industry. The human services field is a very unique field. When you put your trust and your efforts into making somebody else's life better, I truly believe that comes back and makes you better.
What a way to end there. And I've seen it. I got to throw this in there too, just to add to that. It's really a big family. And, watching you as one of the top leaders of the organization, knowing everybody's name and taking the time to speak to them and connect with them and support them in and out of the office. I mean, you can't replace that, and you can't fake that. Just like you can't fake mentorship. So appreciate the mentorship, all your support. Find us on LinkedIn, check out the links. And again, this has been another great episode of, inspiring connectivity, support, raising awareness on great causes or organizations. So appreciate you being on the Incept Connect podcast, and looking forward to the next one, my brother.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Brother.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.